Let's go. So let's start by stretching. But think about going to the extremes of a diagonal stretch. So if we take the feet a little bit wider than we perhaps normally do for a nice alignment, and let's stretch the left arm and lift that right ball of the foot so that we're getting a stretch right across the body. So it's a slightly diagonal stretch, reaching one arm up, one arm down. Now, if you're curving the lower back, maybe this lower arm just helps tilt the pelvis under so the tailbone's reaching down to the floor. So it's not really a theme for today, except maybe initially finding spaces in the body, creating here, hopefully you're feeling almost a lift. By pressing down through the ball of the foot, we can get that action-reaction, pulling up across the body, reaching into those fingertips overhead. And see if you can just pause there long enough. If we really tune into the body, you'll start to feel, oh, I'm stretching. And when you get to your furthest point, then we'll switch to the other side. So often when we take stretches, we don't really give the body opportunity to get to its full extent. So we're not forcing anything, we're just being a little bit patient. So again, a little bit of weight still needs to go through the active ball of the foot to get that kind of then reaction, pull up. We need to press down to then lift up and across the body. So for myofascial release, we often think about going to the ends of the body and often across the body. So we get that work along the spine and get maximum length. Feel that kind of stretching. This time, we'll take the arm a little bit overhead. So either with the feet on the floor, or we're now stretching more specifically the side of the body. Again, the free hand can tilt the pelvis under and stretching, pausing till you really can't go any further and you've given all of the soft tissues a chance to lengthen on the other side. We can start to activate the legs a little bit more energetically by gripping the floor with the feet. You can squeeze your glutes and lengthen into the fingertips. Lovely. A little bit lower, the legs may become wider. Reach all the way across. We're starting to take a closed twist here. Reaching into the fingertips. So with the stretch, changes to a little bit offside towards the back of the body. And across the other side. Reach with a slight tailbone, tucks so the spine stays long. And next time, let's go down to the ankle. Opposite ankle, you can hold just around the knee, the shin, the ankle. Let's bow the head and just enjoy the sensations in the back of the leg. Feel the head hanging heavily. No locking out the knee, so a little bend in the knee. And soften, and again, give your body a chance to really lengthen. Nice deep breath. One more breath. See if you can find spaces to let go, spaces to lengthen. Coming up and over to the other side. Maybe sliding your hands down the leg just to check things out on this side before surrendering into that twisted fold. So again, the legs are straight as is comfortable, but definitely not a locked out knee. So if anything, a little bend in the knee or holding the leg a little bit higher, but do let the head dangle so that we can get that lovely release down the back of the body, the spine and the back of the leg. One more breath, just find softening, length, spaces, and then coming up. Gorgeous. Let's wimble the arm. So the left arm across the body, the right arm follows, and then back the way we came. It's a little bit of a swing, but no ballistic throwing of the body. By taking our time, we add that closed twist, open twist. We'll also be working on the arms a little bit today. One more each side. Hopefully feeling a little bit more lifted up. All right, swinging out the legs. So another way to find space is you might want to hold on to a wall, but let's start by swinging out. You need your standing legs to be a little bit soft. As you start to find a rhythm, you're either holding the wall and letting your corresponding arm come in the opposite direction in that natural oppositional, rotational work through the body, which gives us the counterbalance. Now, so that the foot doesn't hit the floor, kind of need to have a little bounce. But as your leg comes far forwards and far back, to see if you can shrug out a little bit of tension from hip, knee, ankle, even to the toes. Same leg runner, we're strengthening that standing ankle, so it might get a little bit tired across the body. So again, the arms in the opposite direction, just to give us that counterbalance. You may, by pressing into the big toe of that standing leg, start to feel a little bit of work. We really rely on the adductors here for our stability. We keep the head back. It's very easy because we're thinking about our balance and potentially falling, but the head starts to come forward. So let's think about the top of the head to the ceiling, fleshy beach space under the chin, long line at the back of the neck. Breathing deeply. Again, this is a shrugging out for the arms. And let's take it across to the legs. Forwards and backwards initially. Might be a little bit different on this side, so let's be patient. Just finding a little bit of a rhythm here. Softening in both knees. And starting to find a rhythm. So again, you might need to find a wall, a chair. Back of the chair is really good for this one. So if the active leg, the moving leg, if that corresponding arm can be free, we can get that work all the way up that left side of your body. If you're going for freestanding, without overthinking it, sometimes you think, oh, is it the same arm forwards? So without overthinking, your body will naturally find that counterbalance. Shrugging out nice and soft with that strong line from the big toe up the inner thigh, core, pelvic floor, giving you that extra stability and length up the spine. Let's go across the body. So again, the knee needs to be a little bit soft than the leg you're standing on. That helps us to get a little bit of a stronger activation along your standing leg. Shoulders nice and soft and heavy. Amazing. Last time. All right, legs nice and wide. Let's have the outer edges of the feet parallel. So it might feel like you're a bit pigeon-toed in. And we're coming to a forward fold, and I'll explain about this more as we go on. So first of all, find that length through the tailbone. Firm up the legs. A slight bend in the knee, again, is fine, but try to keep the legs straight. So rather just don't come forward as far. Flat back fold. See where you're kind of tickling your edge of flexibility, then press into the outline of the feet and come back up to standing. So we'll work on that a few times. Let's see if we can draw the ribs together, navel to spine, and fold. So as you continue through this, I just want to paint a picture of, in your day-to-day lives, often, don't stop just as I am, often when we need to pick something up, we might come to this position and we'll pick something up. And here, I'm not getting a stretch to the hamstrings and I'm rounding the back. So there's pretty much nothing helpful about this. If we keep the legs straight, we'll come as far as we can. So we're working the stabilizers in the core, but then at the last minute, we might round to pick something up. We rebuild and you're using the whole body and it's a much better movement. So if you want to make this a little bit more vigorous, a little bit more strenuous, the arms can come overhead. But the purpose is reminding the body, we should always try to get a little bit of a gentle stretch down the back of the legs, fire up those stabilizers in the core. And if we need to go further, now we can fold down and roll up. So we come into a flat back fold. Here's the extent we can go to, or here. Then we can soften down and gather whatever we were going to pick up and roll up through the spine. So the last couple of times, so we're setting a good habit, and then your homework, well, saying homework, is finding times in your day when you actually find that you're bending the knees before you need to, and you're letting that long spine, neutral spine length openness in the chest, go earlier than you need to. So using the body, keeping that mobility, keeping that stretch, contraction in the body. Last time. Come into your fold, melt, and roll up. Lovely. Roll the shoulders back and down a couple of times. Let's let the arms hang, a little bit of a bend into the knee and shrug out the tension there. Okay, we're going to take a goddess squat, so a little bit wider, but here, as always, I like to check your stance that the knees aren't falling forwards. If anything, have your toes a little bit more to the front. So as I bend, tracking over the toes. Okay, tailbone long. Again, find that stacking, so it might feel like you're about to fall backwards. We're so used to rounding forward, so it might feel a little bit alien. Then we're strengthening the core. So come into your goddess squat. Let's just take a moment to get the legs ready. Hold the thighs. We'll take a little twist here. Opposite shoulder towards knee. The straight arm, so we get that stretch in the back of the body. And then across to the other side. Now this work into the arms, we'll take fists. Initially the circles will be very small and very quick. And then we'll gradually get slower and bigger. Are you ready? All right, arms out to the side. Let's first of all make fists with the thumbs pointing down to the floor. Tailbone long, zip up your core. Pelvic floor, grip the floor. Shoulders back and down, peachy chin under the chin. So thumbs are down. And we're going to circle forwards, up, back and down. And that will be one count. So nice and fast. Are you ready? And we circle 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We can make that the practice round. Make sure the shoulders are down, chin back, so head's right over the wrist, knees open wide. Squeeze the glutes, grip the floor. So once more like that. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now with the thumbs facing forward. Same pace, shoulders down, relax the neck, shoulders. Now grip and squeeze the glutes, grip the floor. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thumbs pointing up. Let's keep the arms slightly back. We do too much rounding in our decks. Let's think long through the spine, reaching the side walls. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now the knuckles pointing up, thumbs to the back wall. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thumbs back down again, but we'll go a little bit bigger, a little bit slower. Circle forwards, up, back and down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You can add a little bounce. 4, 3, 2, 1. Thumbs forwards. I know the arms are getting heavy, we can do this. 10, 9, 8, long neck. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up to the ceiling and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going with the arms, but you can step the legs together if they're tiring. Thumbs to the back wall, so we've got that external rotation of the shoulders without sticking the bottom out. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thumbs to the back wall. Again, we go slower, but a little bit bigger. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I know I'm feeling it too. Thumbs pointing forwards. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thumbs to the ceiling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thumbs to the back wall and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shrug out the shoulders. Last set of 10. It's just with a lovely open softness in the elbows. Let's go. Bend and 10. 9, melt the shoulders back and down. 8, 7, same like we were swinging out the legs, just feel a little bit of weight, almost like the hands are a kilo each, and you're stretching out from the shoulders to elbows, wrists and fingers. Last couple of times, and then one round of sun salutations, particularly when it's really hot, very hard, kick back to get enough movement into your day. So let's get it in early. One round of sun salutations. Your version, I'll talk you through your standard sun salutations, just so we work the whole body before we come down to the floor. You ready? So stand at the front of your space, long through the tailbone, shoulders back and down. Breathe in, opening the arms wide, stretching into the fingertips, pressing down through the feet to level up to the ceiling, and then turn the palms face out into our flat back fold with practice. Hold the ankles, bow the head, sit bones riding up the wall behind. Breathe in for a halfway lift. If you're rounding, doming the back, bend the knees, and you might get a little bit more length along the spine. We're stepping your right foot back, come down to the floor, step the right foot back, the knee can come to the floor, but just pause and feel whatever sensations there are in the hips here, enjoy. If your knee's lifted, lower the knee, hands on that left thigh, and lengthen, tailbone tucks, we're stretching the right hip at the front. Breathe deeply. Let's go to the left hamstrings. Place the hands back, start to straighten the front leg. Blocks are really handy here to bring the floor up to your hands, but just feeling maybe squeezing the back of the leg. We're ready to step back to a plank, high plank or knee plank. So hands to the floor, step back. Lengthen from the heels up to the crown of the head. And let's think about, if anything, pushing the spine up towards the ceiling between the shoulder blades and zipping the front of the body together. Look down at the fingers, make sure there's a little bit of a curve into 10 fingers. And your version coming down to the back, knees can come down first. Let's find the floor. Sliding through to a sphinx. Some of you may be up in an up dog, and that's fine. Let's grip into the floor. Again through the fingertips, forearms are parallel, and then we lengthen the upper spine, pubic bone pressed into the floor. Down dog, hands under the shoulders, tuck your toes, soften the knees, and focus on lengthening the spine, a little bit of a sway side to side, a little bit of a pedal through the feet. See how much movement you can get through the toes, those tiny jumps of the toes as you pedal through. For this first round, I'll put both knees on the floor. I'll hold the right knee and step it to the front. Tuck your toes under at the back, come to the front, take a deep breath in, stand tall. Open wide, hands meet, and back to heart center. We've just got one more side to go. Breathe in and open, that expansive breath into the ribs. Breathe out, pressing the air down. Already I'm open across the chest. Firming up the legs, zipping up the core, following all the way through to a forward fold. Pause. Shake out the head. You can bend and stretch at the knees. And when you're ready, let's step the left foot far back. Knee can come down or it's lifted. Again, just feeling that distance between the knees. A little bit of scissoring of the thighs so that we are engaging rather than collapsing into this runner lunge position. And breathe. We're lowering the back knee, lifting up. It's a little bit of a crescent lunge here, but very much long through the base of the spine. If anything, the thoracic spine lengthening. So think about from the sternum to the throat and the sides of the body finding length, nowhere else. So tailbone pointing down to the floor, and if anything, just finding a mini back bend in the upper body. Mostly we're targeting the hip flexors on your left leg. If you're holding the back of the spine here, low down, try and get the elbows together, so we're also getting that nice opening across the chest. Breathing deeply, and we'll take it back to that hamstring stretch. If you can, curl the toes up. If you need a little bend in the knee, that's fine, as long as you're getting sensations, the right kind in the back of the leg, is all good. Now, even though your target muscles here, calf, your hamstrings, into your glutes, let's still think about the spine. So rather than collapsing down, let's think about a long spine. Fleshy peach space under the chin. And then let's meet in a plank, your version. So hands down, step back. Active fingertips, underside knuckles and heels of the hands. If we can have the elbow creases pointing forwards. Firm up the thighs, the glutes. If you're taking the chaturanga to an up dog, make sure you come onto the toes so the body weight comes forwards a little bit. This just ensures a nice stacking of the shoulders and the elbows. If we drop straight down from a plank, we don't have quite the same support along the arms. If you're in Sphinx or up dog, breathe, find length again in the spine and tuck the toe and meet in a down dog. Again, pedaling it through, feeling the length in the spine. So always going for length in the spine over straight legs. The hamstrings will take their time to lengthen. We won't force that. More important that every now and then we find times in the day to straighten the legs and just keep that little bit of stretch every now and then into the backs of the legs. More importantly, lovely alignment in the spine. We're stepping the left foot forward, so you can either hold the back of the knee lower to the floor, your version, but let's meet with the left foot forwards. Breathe, right foot to the front, uncurl, open wide. This is the last one, and then we're coming down to the floor. Stretch overhead, you can cross the opposite wrist, stretching side to side, and then open the arms, shoulders back and down. Brilliant. Okay, we're going to come down to the floor. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. So let's meet on all fours. We're going to take a melting heart, and I'm going to show you a few really nice variations, which are from the yin yoga tradition. So really lovely for releasing tension in the body. So from all fours, we're going to keep the hips over the knees and start to pace the hands forward. So we start to get that length in the spine. So I've untucked my feet here. You might want to pad up the mat under the knees. And we stretch, maybe the forehead comes to the floor, maybe you need the forearms on the floor. But let's start to feel the heart space coming down to the floor and that length in the spine. Breathing deeply. So with our variations, if you're mirroring me here, let's take the back arm and we're threading it through under the front armpit and resting on the chin, on the side, on the cheek. So we take this twist, shoulder release, all those circles we took in the goddess pose. Hopefully now you can give a little bit of relief to the deltoids. So the hips stay high, front fingertips reaching forwards. This front arm, which is extended along the mat, you can adjust the position so you can always lean back and get more space, but you're looking for the right kind of sensation. So not forcing anything, just feeling that nice type of compression on the top of the shoulder. Let's make sure the chin is not sticking out. So again, you could maybe look to the outer hip or just beyond the front elbow and breathe. We're here for another 2 breaths. Option, the corresponding leg to this stretched arm, you can extend, planting the ball of the foot. So we create that pyramid shape from your extended arm to the extended leg. Another 2 breaths. Option, the extended leg comes out in line with the hip. Again, breathe, you stick with whichever version. This will be melting heart variation 2. So it's just working more areas in the body. But remember, your target area is the lower shoulder. So just enjoy any sensations there, making any adjustments to be a little bit more comfortable. We're going to come to a child pose, a traditional child pose. The knees come together, slowly roll onto your forehead and sit back on the heels, hands by the ankles, and just take a gentle sway. Take another breath there. Doing well. Really good. And then we're on to the other side. So when you're ready, from your child pose, come up, we're back on all fours. My hair's going wild. So with the melting heart, unlike a child pose where the hips go back, we keep the hips high. From here, start to pace the hands forward, and we get that stretch along the spine. So sometimes people prefer the chin to rest on the floor. That can cause a little bit of discomfort in the neck. So feel free to put the forehead on the floor or lower the forearms. The only nice benefit of stretching to the fingertips, the way we do it in an extended child pose, is just get that stretch right into the armpits. Breathe. Every now and then the fingertips might pace forwards another centimetre. If anything, the arms can be slightly wider than shoulder distance, so don't force or put up with unnecessary strain by keeping the arms parallel. A little bit wide is absolutely fine. So mounting heart variation A, your back hand threading through your second arm, whichever that is. And the further you place it forwards, the more you can lean back and get some lovely sensations into the deltoids and into the shoulder, around the shoulder blades. So breathe deeply, enjoying whatever sensations are there. Bottom still in the air, so we still have that length up through the spine. Oh my goodness, is that the front door? Let's see. All right, your option is to extend the corresponding leg. And again, we'll take 2 breaths here. Enjoy whatever sensations in the upper back. Still fingertips reaching forwards. Your final option is taking the arm out to the leg out to the side. Pause there, 2 breaths. Breathe. Lovely. So some active muscles, some release, some melting, softening. And when you're ready, slowly come to a child pose. Forehead to the floor, let the upper body melt over, stay where you are. Let the whole body release, relax. And only when you're ready, slow so you don't get dizzy. Push yourself up to sitting, and let's sit on the heels. So first of all, top of the feet to stretch here. If you're not able to sit on the heels, if you're a block hand, you're a cushion, just elevate the hips slightly. So from here, we'll take the weight into the fingertips and see if we can lean back slightly. You see I'm stretching the front of the foot, tops of the toes. So just feeling, no forcing, but you know, we very rarely get a good stretch into the tops of the feet. So just feeling your way through. A little bit of a rock, so you're coaxing, a little bit of release in the toes. That's a nice one to finish. We're going to take a cooling breath, which should feel really nice. All right, before we do that, we briefly come on to your bottom. We're coming into a boat shape. Roll the shoulders back and down. Let's keep a long spine, shoulders down, and let's lift the legs. Tiptoes can be on the floor. Let's see if we can now again find that length from your sternum up into the neck, almost a back bend. It's the intention of a back bend, just to lengthen that upper back where we tend to curve. We zip up your core, shoulders back and down. You can either hold the backs of the knees or hold onto the core. It can just give you that reminder to keep zipped up. We're not here for long. Let's see if we can extend one leg if you're lifted, and then the other. Shoulders back and down. So as we roll back off the sit bones, see if you can almost press down to lengthen up through the crown of the head. A few more rounds, adding on a little bit of a leg extension. Maybe toes on the floor is enough of a challenge. For the last couple of rounds, let's see if you can draw the shoulder blades a little bit closer together without letting the ribs and the abs pop out. A little bit of shaking is fine. No arching in the back here. Think about tucking the tailbone long through the spine. Ears would still be in line with the shoulders if we were upright. So keeping the head back, fleshy peach under the chin. Last round. And then you can take a full body stretch or hug the knees into the chest, your choice. To come into a sitting position, you can roll onto one side or rock forwards and backwards up to sitting. But it needs to be a comfortable position, so sitting on the heels isn't for you today. Cross-legged, on a cushion, all fine. So on these hot days, we'll make a straw with the tongue. I'll curl the tongue up. So let's start nice and tall. We're breathing in as if through a straw, and we'll pause. And then we'll slowly breathe out through the nose. Are you ready? This is the last little bit that would work together. So when you're ready. Pause, hold, feel the cold on the tongue, and then slowly out through the nose. Let the shoulders melt back and down. Twice more. Pause. And then release the breath. Last time. Pause. And then release the breath. Well done. Brilliant. Fabulous. Thank you so much for joining.